In 1996, Capcom had struck gold with the creation of their new video game, Biohazard. Otherwise known outside of Japan as Resident Evil. It was conceived by producer Tokuro Fujiwara as a remake of his earlier 1989 title Sweet Home for the SNES, and directed by Shinji Mikami, a name that is soon to become legendary in the video game world. Being trapped in a large mansion full of grotesque creatures and abominations, relying on your own ingenuity to solve puzzles and manage your inventory was a perfect combination that defined and expanded upon the early iterations of the survival horror genre. The game was an instant hit and is still beloved to this day through its many iterations. Several years later, in 1998, saw the release of its sequel, Biohazard 2, which would become an even bigger hit, often regarded as one of the greatest video games of all time. This time, it was directed by Hideki Kamiya, another legend of the gaming world, with Shinji Mikami taking up the role of producer. Giving his all and wanting the game to be a success, Mikami at first had the game cancelled, as it was, in his words, inadequate. The changes he insisted on allowed it to become what it is today. While working as producer on the third game in its series, Biohazard 3: Last Escape, Shinji Mikami wanted to move away from fantasy-like creatures and move towards something that could be considered more realistic. Having been inspired by the Jurassic Park and Alien movies, his next idea was to have a game where you fight dinosaurs, because he liked beasts that were large, strong, and violent, but more importantly, quick and intelligent as hunters. He also wanted these enemies to be able to think and be able to follow the players from room to room, and only give players fleeting moments to think about their next move. Where Biohazard had slow building tension and moments of scares, he wanted this new game to have a feeling of being rushed, and the need to be constantly on the move. Capcom began to refer to this brand of genre as not survival horror, but panic horror. With Mikami working as both producer and director this time, the spiritual successor to Biohazard was born. In 1999, the first entry was released and became a bestseller. To this day, it's still praised for its visual style, gameplay, smart puzzles, and unique soundtrack. The series gained a fandom, affectionately referring to it as Resident Evil with dinosaurs. The following years brought a more action-focused sequel in Dino Crisis 2, a light gun shooter in Dino Stalker, a first-person shooter on mobile called Dino Crisis Dungeon in Chaos, and a sci-fi themed third main entry in Dino Crisis 3. While the series has laid dormant since its underwhelming Xbox exclusive release in 2003, Capcom has shown time and time again that it hasn't been forgotten. Regina, the main protagonist in 1 and 2, appeared in Namco x Capcom, which also released a figure of her, SNK vs Capcom Card Fighters Clash, a Dino Crisis themed event in Capcom's mobile game Tekken, and a cosplay outfit in Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition X Plus Alpha. Unknown to many fans of the game, there was in fact an official comic book series based on the story of Dino Crisis, consisting of 6 issues all released in 2000. They were created and released in Hong Kong as what they refer to as Manhua, which are simply just Chinese language comics. Due to their limited release in China only, they are now quite a rare item to own physically, but can luckily be read online with unofficial fan translations. But why would an official comic series of a game released worldwide only have a small release in one area of the world? It was done to prevent content thieves. During the 1990s, there was a big problem with a number of Hong Kong comic book publishers ignoring all licensing and copyright laws, deciding to take whatever series they thought would be profitable and using the own content for their own publications, without going through the proper channels to get permission. even when they stole them, they usually didn't stick to the official established lore or stories, and instead decided to make up their own as they went along, with the artwork also varying wildly in quality. During this time, many various media franchises from across the globe had their works infringed upon as unlicensed media flooding China. Capcom was victim to this as well, with the popularity of their game series such as Street Fighter and Biohazard.
What is that?
I'll go and check.
Capcom Asia attempted to reduce this by getting in touch with a number of comic book studios and forming deals with them that allowed the companies to officially release Manhua adaptations. One such company was given the rights to work on the official Dino Crisis series. Tony Wong Chunlong, also known as Wong Yuk Long or simply Tony Wong, is a Chinese manhwa artist, publisher, and actor who has created popular manhwa such as Oriental Heroes, Weapons of the Gods, and has adapted famous author Louis Cha's novels such as Return of the Condor Heroes, which I am actually reading at the moment and really do recommend to anyone interested in wuxia novels. Due to his immense contribution to the industry, he is regarded as the godfather of Hong Kong comics. In 1971, he set up the company Jademan Holdings, but got involved in legal troubles in the late 1980s and resigned. After a short time in prison for securities fraud where he attempted to recoup money that had been lost in stock market investments, he set up a new company, Jade Dynasty, now known today as New Sparkle Roll. With his company up and running and a deal signed with Capcom Asia in the late 90s, work began on Dino Crisis, or Konglong Weiji, with Wong himself as producer. During its planning, the decision was made to have the story only loosely based on the original game, rather than just a simple retelling, mainly due to the desire to keep the story interesting for its Hong Kong audience. And as a result, there were many changes to the characters, motivations, and ultimately, the main flow of the story. Unfortunately, due to artists leaving the company, the quality of the project slightly suffered and left several noticeable errors such as subpar artwork and the sizing of rooms and dinosaurs being inconsistent throughout the story. But nevertheless, they saw the project through, and over the course of several months in the year 2000, Jade Dynasty Group had released their complete 6-part manhwa to the public. Over the next few episodes, we'll be going through each issue, talking about the story that's unfolding, seeing what changes have been made, and comparing it to its original source material.